Probably not going to take very long. And this is NBAfamily.fandom.com, right? Take it with a grain of salt. But it's essentially telling you the same thing or the same story that was told to me some over 20 years ago by a guy that I worked with, okay, government worker, by a guy that I worked with some 20 years ago that told me this story about Shaq and Shaunie. Now, I told you the story about Shaq and Shaunie that he told me that he was pissed is because Shaq had stolen his good friend's wife. Now, you look any place else, or most places, you won't even see it. They don't even mention her first husband. They don't mention it. So I decided to do a little digging because I wanted to make sure that it was someplace on the internet besides the story that I was told. And the story I was told is that I don't know how they met. I don't know if they were in church or something like that, but I had heard that Shaq was dating Shaunie while she was married. And that Shaunie, to my estimation, I do believe that Shaunie got pregnant by Shaq. And so, to keep this scandal down, this is what I heard from the brother, from the guy who went to church with these two people, that Shaq paid the dude off for $2 million to go away, to divorce Shaunie and go away, to keep his mouth shut, which, to his credit, he has. He took his money, he took the indecent proposal, bounced, and has never been heard in public again. In fact, I don't think he was too upset about it. So I guess I wouldn't be. You get rid of a cheating wife, and get $2 million on the come up. It's not a bad day's work. But I know people will not believe me. And this is, as you can see, NBAFamilyWiki.com. Fandom. It's an independent source. You take it with a grain of salt. It's not ESPN or CBS, somebody else like that. It's oh man, Vashanya Carlette Shaunie O'Neal. I guess I'll be called Shaunie too. I can't even pronounce that. I'm not even gonna try. Vashandia? I don't know. You guys can tell me. Career. O'Neal is one of the executive producers of Basketball Wives, a reality series that follows the wives, ex-wives, and girlfriends of professional basketball players. Another reality television show, Basketball Wives LA, follows the Los Angeles wives and ex-wives, girlfriends of professional basketball players. O'Neal is the center of a third reality TV series, Shaunie's Home Court, a reality series that follows the lives of her 5 children and family. I guess she's trying to be the Kardashians, right? I don't blame her. I do not blame her. Don't get it twisted. Let it down. See, this is where it gets interesting, right? We're going to show it. Personal life. O'Neal was raised in Wichita Falls, Texas. Her first son, Miles Nelson, was born on May 8th, 1997. On December 26, 2002, she married NBA player Shaquille O'Neal at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I remember when that happened. I do remember when that happened. When O'Neal met Shaunie Nelson, things seemed to be falling apart. Both were engaged after dating for 2 years, and 2 years later, they got married. Before and during their marriage, the couple had 4 children: Sharif Rashan, Amira Sane, Shakir Rashan, okay, Amira Sane, on and on. Shaq has a daughter. I'm not even going to pronounce that, man. Tyra, with his former girlfriend, Arnetta Yarborough. I remember Arnetta. Shaquille and Shaunie O'Neal separated after 5 years of marriage on September 4th, 2007, but reconciled shortly after. I think that she gave him back the $20,000 that she stole. But anyway, On November 10th, 2009, Shaunie filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce was finalized in 2011, right? Shaunie, here it is. Shaunie was previously married to a man named David Lamar Baptiste, okay, with whom she had her oldest son, Miles, with. Shaunie met Shaquille O'Neal when she was still married to David. She started having an affair with Shaquille, and eventually her and David divorced, and she and Shaq officially began dating. That's what was told to me. That's what was told to me by a first-hand account, because it was a friend of his in church that was married to Shaunie. So I do believe that he did say his name. He kind of said his first name, and he told me not to repeat it. But he was really upset. He was really upset with these shenanigans that were going on, and he told me this right before, or not too long before, Shaunie and Shaq got married. But this was what was told to me, and as you can see, according to this website, that maybe it was not spot on, but it's pretty close. Like I said, the people keep saying that this was not the case. Kobe got in trouble is because he told the police about this thing. In other words, this was really on the inside thing. They kept this thing so hush hush that most people didn't even know that Shaunie was previously married. They didn't. The only reason I even knew is because the guy that was this guy's friend told me. So, with all that being said, Shaq knew what he was getting into. Now, I'm I'm believing that the reason Shaq and Shaunie got married is because, if I'm not mistaken, Shaunie had that baby before they got married. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. I'm not, is it Sharif? I'm not sure. No, Miles was already born. And this little number was the one born 2000, right? This is the one, if I'm not mistaken, was the baby that was born when she was married to this guy. It was getting ready to be born before I married this guy. She was pregnant with this dude, I do believe, when she was still married to this guy. So, I never really put two and together because I never really thought about it one way or the other. But now they're looking at it. The reason that Shaq married this chick is because he got her pregnant. He got a pregnant woman married. Okay. He got a pregnant woman married, and he was not forced, but to keep the scandal down, he had to make her get a divorce, pay the dude off, and then marry her. Now, give her credit. She stayed married for what, 7, 8 years. She was with him for like 11 years. No, yeah, with him for like 11 years. So I guess that's counted as a win. She didn't quite make the 10 years to get that alimony, lifetime alimony. So I know Shaq being who Shaq, and Shaq is not a saint. He would tell you not a saint, but guess what? Neither did Shaunie. I don't believe Shaunie mentioned her first husband in her book. I might read her book, see if she did. But I'm almost 100% sure because nobody ever talks about this, right? Nobody talks about the first husband. Because according to them, in Shaq's $2 million, the first husband does not exist. In other words, what does Kevin say? You cannot make this shit up. Anyhow, folks, that's all I got. That's my piece on Shaunie and Shaq. And what I say, you can't make it out of a house into a housewife. Shaunie's a gold digger. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she wasn't fucking with no broke niggas. Because I do believe homeboy was the architect, if I'm not mistaken. So anyhow, that's all I got for you guys. Peace and blessings. You cannot make this shit up.